You wanted new topics to speak about, you wanted new names to speak about. Well, in today's video, we have new names to speak about. Not only Bremer extending until 2028, but also a player coming from Montenegro called Adžić that is about to sign for Juventus. A big new reinforcement. All your questions, we will try to answer them in today's video. Where is he from? What role is he playing? Will he come immediately? Will he play with the next gen? Will he play with the first team? So a lot of questions. But in today's video, I also have a question for you. A kind of quiz with one question. Let's see how much you know about football. Let's see how much you know about Serie A. And let's see how fast you are. Because at a certain moment, I will show you a picture. Let's see who will be the first one to guess who is the player next to Adžić. Anyway, Ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. Do we start with Bremer? Of course, we start with Bremer. The first official news of yesterday, extension of contract until 2028. I was happy. You were happy. We spoke about it in yesterday's video, but especially he was happy. And his words on Instagram were really beautiful, saying, "You made me feel like I was at home." And when you are feeling at home, well, you want to stay at home. I want to say thank you to the club for this beautiful big opportunity in Bianconero until 2028. Forza Juventus. Beautiful messages from Gleison Bremer, but even more beautiful was how Juventus social media, the admin, he posted that video on Instagram and everywhere, I believe, asking the question to Gleison, what do you have in your pockets? Where he's showing a wallet, where he's showing a key, and then he's also showing his phone. And if you were fast and if you understood really well, you would have guessed that in and on the phone, you see Leao and you see Osimhen, two players that a lot of time we joked about this season because he put them in his pocket. Beautiful. But now let's go towards Adžić. Who is Adžić? Well, the news is coming yesterday from Gianluca Di Marzo. They're saying winning blitz, because Juventus was really fast in beating the competition of Bologna. Bologna was about to secure the young 17 years old player. Juventus was faster and they spoke with him, with the entourage, with everyone, with the club, and that's the project that he wants to go for. Why? Because Juventus is a top club of Europe. The words of his agent, he wants to go there. Will he come immediately? No. For what reason? Because at the moment he's still not in possession of a European passport, so we'll have to wait until next summer. Anyway, we will probably see him already in January so that he's able to do the medical test, and that he is also putting black on white his signature to seal the deal. 5 million euro will go to his club, plus a 20% resell. That's the deal made by Juventus. A beautiful prospect. I have to admit that I'm always amazed when I see on YouTube the highlights and skill of player immediately. They are going super fast. So the velocity of the content creators is amazing me. Where are they trying to find all these images is something incredible. But I have to say that this morning I spent a bit of time watching the highlights and skills. Mamma mia, what a player. Of course, highlights and skills are exaggerating. It's only the most beautiful things. You don't see entire games. But I have to say that I was really impressed by his right foot, by his position of the field, by his way of opening on the right, on the left side. Beautiful midfielder, I have to admit, really great. Now, will he play with the next gen? Will he play with the first team? He will probably, according to me, start with the next gen, being a kind of hybrid player, you know, playing with the next gen, training with the first team. When there is the possibility, he's promoted to the first team, and then it's up to him, like, you know, Kenan Yildiz is doing at the moment, promotion after promotion, and then when he has the opportunity, taking the opportunity with both hands and showing the world what are your qualities. Let's see if he will be able to go with a tournée with Juve in the summer, if there will be a tournée, of course. But it's a player that is doing quite well. 17 years old, already a beautiful physical structure. It's 185, so quite tall, quite muscular. A player that is playing with his right foot, a beautiful right foot. Oh, I watched some highlights and I even went to how many games he played, how many goals he scored, and so on and so on. There was at a certain moment a goal from him in the qualifiers of the Conference League on a free kick. Mamma mia, what a free kick. At the moment, you know, we are asking ourselves, who is able at Juventus to take the free kicks with his right foot? Well, that guy, 17 years old, he has that ability. He has that skill in his foot, and that's always beautiful. Not only that, but I told you already, vision, and so on and so on. 17 years old, he's a starter with his club in first division of Montenegro, already played 19 games, 5 goals there, 2 games in Champions League qualifier, 2 games in Conference League qualifier. Quite nice player that has a lot of potential. Now, the big question, let's see who will be fast enough to answer it. You see that picture? That was one of the first pictures I saw on social media. I don't know what kind of trophy he won, but I'm asking you, who is the guy next to Adžić? Let me know in the comment if you're fast, and if you have some knowledge about Serie A, you will have to go back in time. I knew immediately. Let's see if you will be able to beat me, yes or no. We continue with Gazzetta dello Sport. They're speaking about Mercato, about the other teams. They're speaking about Milan that is looking for new goals with Girassi, Bundesliga player that is doing fantastically well. I was able to watch a few games of him. Really important, nice striker. He wants to leave. Maybe Milan wants to go for him. On the other side, if I was Milan, I would probably look for reinforcing my defense, because in 2023, we are missing the last game, of course, that will be played this weekend, but they are actually the 4th worst defense of Serie A in 2023. 64 goals conceded, 1 more than Fiorentina, 10 less, or 1 less than Fiorentina, 10 less than Salernitana, and 9 less than Sassuolo. A total disaster. Anyway, I want to come back to Juve because that's important. Miralem Pjanic, he spoke today about the game of Juve-Roma. Why? Because he played at Juve, he played at Roma. He knows really well the two environment. He knows really well how important the game is for both teams. And he said, I believe, according to Miralem, that Juventus will fight for the Scudetto until the last minute, until the last possible day. And I hope he's right. I hope he's right. Anyway, he continues speaking about a lot of things. And then he said at a certain moment about what makes Max Allegri so special. Where he said actually beautiful things. He said, look, I'm not the only one that is speaking well about Allegri, but 90% of those who were trained and managed by him, they are saying the same. He creates a really good harmony with the group and manage it really well. He knows what he wants, he approaches matches in the right way, and never complains about absences. He's a great motivator, and he knows how to get the best out of players. Then he continues saying, of course, Juve won't play like Guardiola's Manchester City, but that's not only up to Max Allegri. Max is a coach that is adapting to the characteristics of the players, the men that he has, and he leaves them a lot of freedom. You will like it or you will not like it. This is something that I always told you. Max is a coach that is able to play in different formation, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 3-5-2, whatever. Why? Not because he likes it or he doesn't like it, but he's looking at the team and he's adapting the formation to the team that he has at disposal. Sometimes he's offering a more beautiful way of playing. Sometimes he's looking for balance. Sometimes he's looking to be really practical and efficient. But anyway, this is Max. You like it or not, but here you have a Miralem Pjanic, coached by Max Allegri, that is telling you. Anyway, that game is important. Not that much because I'm feeling the rivalry between Juve and Roma. Actually, I don't feel the rivalry with Juve-Roma. But on this side, I'm looking at it as an important game for the ranking. We know that we have 2 games to play in before the end of the first round. Roma on the 30th, and then on the 7th of January we are playing Salernitana. Well, Juventus, the good news is against the big teams of Serie A, you see a big change towards last year. Where last year we had 1.7 points per game against the big teams with 2 losses, 2 draws and only 3 wins. We are speaking about Roma, Fiorentina, Inter, Lazio, Napoli, Juventus. Now, this year, Juventus is doing much better with only 2 draws and 4 wins. Hopefully, we can go towards 5 wins, which would be a total difference, a big difference with last year. And we see the progresses that Juventus is doing this season. And it's not a coincidence that at the moment we are 2nd in the league, behind Inter that is doing fantastically well. Anyway, Dybala will be there. We have now a total confirmation. Yesterday, the people from Roma, they were saying it. He will be called up for the game, so no doubts anymore about that one. But it's true that the papers today, they are going towards one big duels. And Corriere dello Sport and Tuttosport, they are going towards the big face-to-face between Dusan Vlahovic and Lukaku. Faccia a faccia, face-to-face for Corriere dello Sport. And then you see Tuttosport, they saying Vlahovic, Lukaku, la resa dei conti. The final verdict is here. Well, ragazzi, for me, it's Juve-Roma. It's not Vlahovic against Lukaku. I don't believe that there is something to prove in that game in terms of individuality. I don't care. If Lukaku scores 3 goals, and we win 4-3 with goals of Bremer, Rugani, Pinsoglio, and I don't know who, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't need Vlahovic to score. Of course, then, when we spoke so much about it during the summer, about that possible swap, him going to Chelsea, Lukaku here, it's in a way normal that they are doing comparison. So where are we in terms of comparison? We are looking at the moment in Serie A, Vlahovic scoring 6 goals, That's 1 goal every 150 minutes, while Lukaku is scoring 8 goals. That's 1 goal every 147 minutes played by him. So there is not a lot of difference between the two strikers in Serie A. The big difference is made in Europe, but Juventus this year is not playing Europe, so Dusan can't show himself in that competition. 61 touches in the box for Dusan Vlahovic, 68 touches in the box for Lukaku. 2 times Dusan Vlahovic was able to do these 1-2 passes that created big chances, while Lukaku was able to do it 9 times. So there you see a much bigger difference, also with Lukaku being able to dialogue with his teammates, while Dusan Vlahovic a bit less. Anyway, who will win that game? I don't care if it will be Lukaku, if it will be Dusan Vlahovic. I want Juventus to win. And to win that game, well, we have to count on our men, and we have some smite, because yesterday Locatelli and Chiesa, they trained partially with the team. That's already a positive news. Hopefully today they can do full training, because today and tomorrow will be decisive to understand how many minutes these guys have to play that game against Roma. On the other side, there is one that is sprinting and possibly will overtake the role as a starting player on the left side. We are speaking about Ealing Jr. That in training session has been tested. The no moment of Filip Kostic, because he's living a no moment, could potentially give Ealing Jr. a start in that game. True or not, I also think that it depends on who will be the other players next to him. If we have a physical midfield with Rabiot, Locatelli, McKennie, with up front Chiesa and Vlahovic, why not starting Ealing? If we don't have all our meta at disposal, if we are already playing with a young kid like Kenan Yildiz, well, maybe that will be a bit more difficult, and maybe we'll need a bit more a player that is able to cover the back of Kenan Yildiz. That could potentially be Filip Kostic. Let's see. Anyway, I finished with the last one of Mercato. Why? Because looks like Napoli and Juventus, well, they have the same database. They have the same list. Well, it makes sense. Giuntoli worked together with Maurizio Micheli from Napoli for a really long time, and they have the same midfielders. Not only Højbjerg, but also Samardzic. And there is another player that not a lot of people are talking about. It is Kone, that is playing in Bundesliga with Mönchengladbach. How many times did I tell you, pay attention to Kone, pay attention to Kone, pay attention to Kone? Nobody is speaking about it. Sometimes you hear them, like today, Nicolas Kira was saying they have some players in common, Højbjerg, Samardzic and Kone. So pay attention to Kone, that could become a player that is, in the next coming day, starting to be on the front pages. Grazie, forza, Juve.